Hello and welcome to the Down Under Visa Q&A podcast series. Registered Migration Agent Jeff Harvie from Down Under Visa in Manila and Son and Office Manager Jeremy Harvie discuss common problems which occur when applying for visas to Australia. In particular, those issues which affect Australian Filipina couples who are applying for partner visas, tourist visas and other visas applicable to couples and families who are wanting to migrate from the Philippines to Australia. We hope you enjoy, and we hope you will go to our website, which is www.downundervisa.com.au. Please have a look. There's a lot of information there. There are blog articles, and you can do a free visa assessment form, and where we can see if we are able to help you to achieve your dream. Thank you and enjoy. Okay, well, welcome to another Down Under Visa Q&A podcast. Jeff and Jeremy here. So what's been happening over the last week, Jeremy?
We've had a couple more instances of family interference again.
Right, okay, this is what we're talking about, families disapproving of dad's choice of partner, that type of thing?
Basically, yes.
Right, okay. Yes, it's something that probably happens more often than we're actually aware of it, because I'm sure plenty of things happen that people don't tell us about, but yeah, it does. It certainly does happen. What do you think's the reason for that?
Well, sometimes they might see something that the sponsor doesn't, and other times they honestly should just keep their own business. Yes,
love is blind. It's yes, I mean, I think we've all been in relationships where everybody can see things wrong and you can't see them. I know I have, and I seem to remember a son of mine having a few issues in years gone by, but we won't go into that. But at bottom line is it is still absolutely none of anybody's business, wouldn't you think?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think, I mean, in some cases we hate to think a bit like this. We like to think we're a bit more of an enlightened society than we used to be. I mean, I grew up in the 70s when, we used the word wogs, and, I can recall neighbours, throwing chocos over the fence into the adjoining neighbour's place, a Greek family, and telling them to, piss off back to your own country. I believe the Greek family gathered up the chocos and appreciated them very much, but you'd like to think we've gone past that, but there still is a bit of there can be incidents of somebody not liking dad marrying somebody else. And we had one a number of years ago where, the parents had got divorced a number of years beforehand. I gather it probably wasn't even, especially dad's fault, and it seemed to be the issue of, my kids are not happy with her, and I recall the kids were in their 30s, were they not?
Yeah, they're already well and truly grown up.
Yeah, and he seemed to be trying to put off I think she was there on a prospective marriage visa, and he was trying to put the wedding off because his kids weren't happy about it, and I think I recall just telling him quite bluntly that they really need to butt out. Their dad's happiness is absolutely none of their business, and they absolutely should not be commenting on such a thing. So yes, I guess that would be generally the advice. I mean, unless your family have a particular issue about something you're not facing, I would generally say that it's always your decision who you are going to settle with. I mean, we've we've had our private predictions about clients over the years, not that it would ever affect how we'd deal with anybody. I mean, we when an application is difficult, we try harder, but I mean, we've had situations that have defied our expectations, haven't we?
Yeah, quite a few.
Yes, I can remember one many years ago where this was the first and last time I actually had the audacity to tell somebody that I thought he had made the wrong decision. Well, a few years ago, we had a client come to us who was referred to by him and was telling us about this absolutely wonderful marriage that this fellow is having, how, she's just turned herself around and she adores him and spoils him rotten and fusses over him all the time, and everybody in the town likes her, and a little girl of the relationship is thriving and doing well at school, and it certainly made me realise that I need to keep things to myself. And I mean, we've had that, but then we have those where we think these two are magic and it doesn't work out. But I mean, again, it's certainly not our business, is it?
No, we don't need to say anything.
No, it's not our job. You don't come to us for relationship advice or to predict the outcome of your relationship. But yeah, and the other thing, of course, is interference from families here in the Philippines. That's probably a little more common, is it not?
Yes, they can tend to have their own ideas of what should be done.
Yeah, it's less so that they're trying to stand in the way of the relationship, but more a case of they're trying to helpfully, is that the right word? They're trying to offer help and give advice as to what they should or shouldn't do. Sometimes we've had awful cases where they've told a woman not to tell him about her kids because, he would certainly not accept a woman with kids, and a visa ending up being refused based on that. It's more often than that, and again, we would say to anybody that it's your relationship, and you've engaged a migration agent to help you, and we do know what we're doing, and your auntie might be very smart about all sorts of things, but I guarantee you we know a little bit more about visas than your auntie does. And when it comes to your kids, well, look, I'm sorry, you're a grown up and it's your life, and yes, you'd love it if they were delighted with your choice, and you'd be very, very happy if they all get on famously, but that's how it works in relationships. You simply can't do that. So, stick to your guns, get stuck into it, and the outcome of your relationship, whether successful or not, it's up to you, and it's not up to anybody else. So yeah, what other issues are we having? What other things are important to talk about?
Well, we've always had the occasional client who had previously dealt with a local travel agent. Sometimes
quite disastrously, if we found out the agent in their wisdom has told them to lie about something.
Usually leaving children off the application is the common one.
Leaving children off the application, or inventing employment, that type of thing. Yes, inventing children. That was the other one. We've had the occasional travel agent who said, "Oh, if you've got children, they'll see that as being incentive to come back. So let's make up some children." And then it comes along to a partner visa, and we have this issue with they have records in the system of you claiming you have children. Yes, that can cause all sorts of issues because they're not very keen on false statements. They're not very keen on bogus documents, and these are the things that can come back and bite you, and it can mean that we have to delay the application of your visa application to more than 12 months from when you last held that visa, not when you applied for it, but when you last held it. which means the visa might still be valid when you come to talk to us. It can mean quite a while before we can lodge an application. But yes, we probably don't hear that much from issues about travel agents, really. I mean, as far as people, it's very unusual for somebody to say to me, goodness me, you're not as cheap as, Bong Bong's travel and bus tickets. They can do a tourist visa for 5,000 pesos. We don't hear too much of that, do we?
Thankfully not.
No, I think most people realise that you get what you pay for, and you can, if you want a Rolls Royce, you don't pay the price of a rusty jeepney and expect you're going to get high quality work. I guess it's like a lot of things in the Philippines. You will get businesses where they are opportunists. You invariably get the same type of business next to each other, so you'll get 5 travel agents all in a row all competing for the same business. So if you go in there and say, do you do visa applications to Australia? They go, why, yes, we do. And then they think, well, we'll work out the details later on. They become an instant expert in that. If you went in there and said, do you sell sausages? They'll go, why, yes, we do. And then they'll go and organise some sausages for you. It's just they're opportunists rather than being trained professionals like we are. Oh, did I tell you I saw some fairly interesting figures on partner visas? Did I tell you about that?
You had?
I had, yeah. No, this is something. This is from a Freedom of Information document. You can apply for all sorts of things from the Australian government through Freedom of Information, and they will supply you with these things. Oh goodness, I couldn't tell you the exact figures, but it was the percentage of refusals of partner visas by people who had done the applications, not with registered migration agents. So I suppose we're talking about doing it themselves, and we're talking about doing it with travel agents who are not registered. And oh goodness me, I think the grant rate was something like 63% or something like that, which means like 37% refusals under those circumstances. That's actually far more than I thought. I thought it was about 15-20%, but it's quite horrendous, isn't it?
Yeah, that's rather high.
Yes, and guess how much of a refund you get from the government when they refuse? Absolutely nothing. And if somebody's done the work for you as well the chances are they're not going to refund you anything either. But more importantly, you've wasted all that time and may have been sitting around for a year waiting for an application to be granted, and then you're faced with a refusal, and so yeah, you start all over again. Heartbreaking stuff. With us, I know the last refusal for a partner visa was probably 3 or 4 years ago, and it wasn't our fault anyway. It's not when professionals handle things, it's not something that happens very often at all. So yes, I think we'd hope most people are sensible enough to avoid messing around with opportunists. You get what you pay for, do you not?
Yep, that's right.
Yep. All right, well look, I hope that's been helpful to everybody. Okay, and we'll talk to you again next time. Thank you all for listening to the Down Under Visa Q&A podcast. We hope that you found this beneficial to you. If you'd like to find out more, please go to our website, which is www.downundervisa.com.au, where you'll find a lot of beneficial articles. There are blog articles, and most importantly, please do one of our free visa assessments. It'll take you 5 minutes, and hopefully we can help you to achieve your dream.